This is a recap of a cougar call-in from November 21st, 2023. The calls I used were close read, RNR calls, production, open read. I used a diaphragm from MFK and a horn amplifier that I got from RNR calls, a Fox Pro Inferno with Rain Shadow Cougar vocalization on it. My wife and I walked into an area in the afternoon. We found some really fresh deer sign. Thought it would be a good place to call. We looked for a good setup. Our setup was my wife set up at the base of two small ridges that came together. The ridge to her right had an old logging road on it that was somewhat overgrown. We have had success with predators coming in on these overgrown roads. I set up about 100 yards behind her, slightly off to her right, where I could not be seen by either ridge line, but I could see her if she was to get on her gun. I started off with 3 howls with the diaphragm. I waited a couple minutes. I went into a quick distress blast on my closed read call. I waited a few more minutes, nothing. I went into some more distress for about 45 seconds, stopped, hit the Inferno on Magpie to give bird noises, then went back into distress on the closed read. Did about a minute of calling. I left the Inferno running with the Magpie for about 5 minutes. Shut it down. I went into another short burst of distress. Waited a few more minutes. Then I switched over to an open read, called for about 45 seconds. About 2 minutes after that, I clicked on the Inferno to Cougar Whistle from Rain Shadow the 009. I played that through a series, hit mute. I could faintly hear 2 whistles to my right, so I certainly had a cougar near. I continued to play Rain Shadow 009 Cougar Whistle off and on for 15 minutes, mute, play, mute, play. Then I went back into some more distress, about another 45 seconds on the open read. A few minutes after that, I continued on and off with the cougar whistles. At about 50 minutes into the set, don't ask me how it got there without me seeing it, but less than 40 yards away, I had a large cougar looking directly at me. He was pretty obscured by the brush, but I felt I had a shot. Unfortunately, in the moment I rushed my shot, I knew it was a clean miss because when I got back on the scope, that cougar had not moved an inch, still sitting there looking at me. I didn't get the 6-foot-high cartwheel. He's just sitting there. When I went to jack in a second shell, this is when he felt it was time to leave. He turned, could see his big red body, and he was gone. Just to make sure, even though I was certain that I'd missed, the wife and I spent about an hour and a half, one, looking for blood, found none, also looking at the area that he came from. He came from another ridge line, came through a drainage, and up onto the edge of this drainage where he could just see me. He wasn't going to come any closer. I made the shot. It was a bad shot, disappointing. But that's pretty much the set we did, and it was pretty cool.